Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Speak Smart podcast. I'm Jane, and I'm so excited to be here with my amazing co-host today.
And I'm Lucy. So glad to be back, Jane. Today we're diving into a topic that I know causes a lot of anxiety for English learners, especially beginners. How to talk about yourself in English. It sounds simple, right? But it can feel like a mountain sometimes.
Absolutely, Lucy. It's one of those fundamental things you do every single day, whether you're meeting someone new, starting a new job, or even just making small talk. And when you're doing it in a new language, the pressure can feel immense.
Oh, tell me about it. I remember when I was first learning Spanish, the idea of having to introduce myself beyond just hola, soy Lucy was terrifying. My mind would just go blank. It's like your brain freezes, even if you know the words.
Exactly. You're thinking, what if I say something wrong? What if they don't understand me? What if I run out of things to say? It's a very common fear, and we want to tackle that head on today. We're going to break down easy introductions for beginners and give you actionable steps to practice in your daily life.
So let's start with the absolute basics. Jane, what's the very first thing someone usually says when introducing themselves?
Well, usually it's your name, right? Hi, I'm your name, simple, direct. But even that can feel a bit mechanical if that's all you say. We want to add a little flavor, a little personality to it.
Totally. So after hi, I'm Lucy, I usually follow up with it's nice to meet you, or pleased to meet you if it's a bit more formal. It shows politeness, and it buys you a second to think about your next sentence.
That's a fantastic point, Lucy. Politeness goes a long way. And then, typically, people want to know where you're from. So, I'm from Country City is a great next step. Or, if you live somewhere different from where you grew up, you could say, I grew up in place, but now I live in another place.
I love that. It adds a bit more information, and it's something people can relate to, like, oh, I've heard of that place, or what's it like there? It opens up a natural conversation, which is what we want, isn't it?
Exactly. The goal isn't just to list facts, it's to start a connection. After where you're from, your profession or what you do is usually next. I'm a your job or I work as a your job is straightforward. If you're a student, I'm a student at university or I study subject works really well.
And if you're between jobs or maybe doing something less conventional, you can still frame it positively. You could say, I'm currently exploring new opportunities in field, or I'm focusing on my passion project, which is project description. It sounds confident and tells a mini story.
That's a brilliant tip, Lucy, because sometimes people get stuck thinking they have to have a traditional answer. Be honest, but also be confident in how you present yourself. So, to recap the absolute basics, name, where you're from, and what you do.
Perfect. Now, once you've got those down, how do we add a bit more personality without overwhelming ourselves as beginners? Because people want to know more than just your stats, right?
Absolutely. This is where hobbies and interests come in. It's a fantastic way to show a bit more about who you are beyond your work or studies. You can say, in my free time, I really enjoy hobby, or I'm passionate about interest. Think about things you genuinely like to do. Don't invent something.
Oh, that's important. Authenticity shines through. For me, I might say when I'm not podcasting, I love hiking with my dog and trying out new vegan recipes. See, two things that are pretty specific and they invite follow-up questions. Someone might ask about my dog or a favorite recipe.
That's a perfect example, Lucy. It's like you're dropping little hooks for conversation. Another thing you can add, especially in a more casual setting, is a fun fact about yourself, something slightly quirky or unexpected.
A fun fact. Oh, I love those. Like, I once accidentally adopted a feral cat that followed me home, or I can juggle 3 apples at once. It's lighthearted and memorable, and it breaks the ice so well.
Exactly. It makes you instantly more approachable. So for beginners, I'd suggest having 1 or 2 hobbies ready and maybe 1 fun fact. Don't feel like you need a whole monologue.
Okay, so we've got name, where you're from, what you do, a hobby or 2, and maybe a fun fact. That already sounds like a pretty solid introduction. Now let's talk about the dreaded context, because you wouldn't introduce yourself the same way to a potential employer as you would to a new friend at a social gathering, right?
Absolutely not. The key is adaptability. For a formal setting, like a job interview or a professional networking event, you'd lean more on your professional identity. Hi, I'm Jane, a your profession with X years of experience in relevant field. You'd focus on your skills and achievements.
Right, keep it concise and relevant. Whereas at a casual party, you'd probably skip the X years of experience part and go straight for the I love hiking and I bake too much bread kind of stuff. It's about finding common ground for friendship, not a job.
Precisely, and for beginners, it's okay to start with one or two general introductions that you feel comfortable with, and then gradually expand your repertoire as you gain confidence. Don't feel pressured to have 20 different versions immediately.
That's such a good point. Start small, build momentum. So, Jane, how can our listeners actually practice this in their daily lives? Because just knowing the phrases isn't enough, you have to actually say them.
This is where the magic happens, Lucy. My number one tip for beginners: yours practice in front of a mirror. Seriously, look yourself in the eye and say your introduction out loud. Pay attention to your posture, your facial expressions. Does it sound natural? Does it feel comfortable?
Oh, that's brilliant. It feels a bit silly at first, but it makes such a difference. You get to hear your own voice, catch any awkward pauses, and just get used to the rhythm of the words. I used to do that all the time for presentations.
It helps so much with building muscle memory for your mouth and tongue. Another thing is to record yourself. Use your phone, record your introduction, and then listen back. You might notice pronunciation issues or areas where you could sound more confident.
Recording yourself is a game changer. It's like having a mini coach in your pocket. You can hear yourself exactly as others hear you. And don't be too critical, right? The goal isn't perfection, it's progress.
Exactly. Focus on clarity and confidence, not eliminating every single accent or tiny mistake. Those are part of learning. Another daily life tip: try to find opportunities to use English, even if it's just online. Join an English-speaking community or forum related to your hobbies.
Yes, if you love gaming, find an English-speaking guild. If you're into cooking, follow an English language recipe blog and leave comments. You're already talking about yourself implicitly through your interests, and you're engaging in English naturally.
And if you have friends who are also learning English, practice with them. Take turns introducing yourselves to each other, pretending you've just met. Give each other constructive feedback.
That's a fantastic idea. Role-playing is so underrated for language learning. It takes the pressure off a real-world situation because you know it's just practice. And speaking of real-world situations, what about those moments when you actually have to introduce yourself to a native speaker?
That's the ultimate goal, isn't it? My advice: be brave and don't overthink it. Most native speakers are incredibly understanding and patient, especially when they know you're learning. If you stumble, it's okay. Take a breath, say, "Excuse me, I'm still learning," and continue.
Honestly, people appreciate the effort so much more than perfect grammar. I've found that being open about being a learner actually creates a warmer connection. They see your vulnerability and your courage. It makes you human.
Couldn't agree more. And remember, an introduction is a two-way street. After you've introduced yourself, ask a question back. What about you? Or, and what do you do? It shifts the focus and keeps the conversation flowing.
That's such a crucial point, Jane. It shows engagement and interest in the other person. And it gives you a moment to listen to their English, which is also great practice. Don't feel like you have to carry the whole conversation.
Absolutely. Think of it as a conversational dance. You lead for a bit, then they lead. It's a natural rhythm. So let's try a quick example. Lucy, pretend we're at a casual gathering and we've just bumped into each other.
Okay, I'm ready, clears throat. Hi there, I don't think we've met. I'm Lucy, it's really nice to meet you.
Hi Lucy, I'm Jane. Nice to meet you too. I love your scarf, by the way. So what brings you to this event?
Oh, thanks. I just moved to the area a few months ago, so I'm trying to meet new people. I'm actually a podcast producer, and in my free time, I'm usually out hiking with my dog or trying a new recipe. What about you, Jane?
That's so cool. I'm a language coach and I've lived here for about 5 years now. I'm always looking for new hiking trails, so maybe you can give me some tips.
See, that was easy, and now we have several threads to pull on for more conversation.
Exactly. It wasn't perfect, but it was natural and friendly, and that's what we want our listeners to aim for. Don't worry about being perfectly grammatically correct every single time. Focus on communicating your message and making a connection.
The goal is clear, confident, and authentic communication, and it gets easier with practice. The more you do it, the more automatic it becomes, and the less you'll have to think about it. Think of it as building a mental library of phrases. The more you use them, the faster you can access them. And it's not just about meeting new people, is it? It's about building your overall confidence in English.
Definitely. Being able to talk about yourself comfortably is a cornerstone of fluency. It opens doors to friendships, career opportunities, and just generally feeling more at home in an English-speaking environment. So take these tips, start small, and build up your confidence.
We truly believe in you. Every step, no matter how small, is progress. So go out there or stay in front of your mirror and start practicing those introductions. You've got this, and we'd love to hear how it goes. These are questions.
Yes, please do. You can find us on our social media channels or send us an email. We love hearing from our listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Speak Smart podcast today.
And thank you, Jane, for another insightful conversation. Until next time, keep speaking smart and keep practicing.
Bye, everyone.
Send us your story.